Okay, good morning, everybody. Today we are continuing our exploration of Anticasual Vestige. A card that I think has been really good in every show we've played it in, and is not a card I've seen anybody else play. So we're gonna be just continue to focus in a little bit on it. I think so far the best show we have for it has been yesterday's green-blue Birthing Ritual build. I thought that build was so fun and really good. I'm liking this one too, although I'm not exactly sure how it stacks up yet. I also do want to circle back to the white build. I think there's like an interesting angle to go that direction, but that's maybe for later. So this is of course an update to the mono black rock deck that we have worked on a lot throughout like this MH3 era. Now one thing I really want to highlight is of all like the fair decks that exist in Modern, even Blink. This is just weirdly the archetype that we've historically had the best success with against Boros. There's just something about the combination of like Nethergoyf, Cecil, K-Command, Fatal Push, Urza Saga, access to Graveyard Trespasser, Emperor of Bones, that just gives you a really good angle of attack against this deck. Your threats and removal and Graveyard Hate line up really well against them. And like if I was going to play a fair deck to beat Boros, like a mid-range deck, this just is the archetype, which is something I've always found to be really interesting about Mono Black, is that it just has a good Boros matchup. So then kind of circling back, this is a deck that definitely wants to splash for K command. Looking at Vestige, it's not like super clear that this is a card that fits, right? Because one, you don't have super high mana value cards to put into play besides Overlord, although it's really, really good when you get to put Overlord into play. But what's really nice about this card is that it gives you a second really good thing to buy back with Emperor of Bones. Main deck Emperor of Bones is really good in general in this format, where it exiles Flage, and it's very good against the Blink decks, and Reanimator is also very popular. So Emperor's just kind of good against opposing stuff, but it's also very good in a deck where you can reanimate an Overlord or a Vestige. And you have a little bit of an extra synergy also with Emperor of Bones, where you have Hex Parasite that can peel the counters off of your Emperor to let you activate it a second time, which I find to be pretty cool and powerful. Hex Parasite can also scam your Overlord, so you can just get it off Urza Saga, take all the counters off Overlord attack. This is tech that we've tested a lot and we have found to be good. This is also tech that I think there's always someone in the chat that's like, what? Hex Parasite? But at the moment, I'm like pretty confident that this is the right or a good way to build this archetype. I really like that the Overlords mill over cards for your Nethergoyf, so like the Sagas give you that extra type. I like that the K commands give you extra type for Goyf. I like that Cecil gives you redundant early game threat. Cecil's been a really good card. Just the whole build came together really strong. And another thing with the Vestige is that despite K command being like a good like removal spell draw card, or like Graveyard Hate draw card, Graveyard Hate removal spell, you've always kind of struggled to make good use of the spawn tokens in these kind of decks. Like the spawn tokens are just kind of mid. But now you have Overlord and Vestige as like big things to cast off of it. Like the spawn tokens become like a lot more useful. And like lets you set up for some big turns, which help you contend against the Blink decks. This was another issue for this archetype, was that you just kind of went a little bit small against the Blink decks. But I think having main deck Vexing Bauble off the Saga, 4 main deck Emperor, K command Vestige, Overlord, I like that this deck starts really small and goes really big. I don't know, I just really am happy with where we ended up here. Okay, on the draw for round 1. Also, I've been lamenting a lot lately about how play draw in Modern feels really, really tough lately. I think this is a deck that hasn't felt so bad on the draw. Waffle at the 54 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Opponent has cap 7, but then they're tanking a little bit on their first turn here. All color combinations have names. Yeah, now that we're splashing colorless, like, is black splash colorless? What is this called? Our Amulet opponent decides to play Amulet after tanking for a little bit of time. They have taken the great risk of exposing the Amulet to the battlefield. Now I could take the Grazer, and then my opponent could still copy the Amulet on turn 2, and then because they have 2 Titans, they are gonna have 5 mana. 5 mana on turn 3. Okay, maybe we could have won the die roll here, after all. Yeah, they did have to debate exposing the Amulet to the board. Always a difficult and hard choice that we're glad our brave Amulet gamers have the strength to make that choice every single day. There's a third Amulet of Vigor here. And here is a Lethal Titan on turn 3 through a Thoughtseize. I feel like every time I've played against Titan lately, or like the last, maybe not every time, but a few times recently when I've played against Titan, I've just died on turn 3 after a Thoughtseize. That's okay. We do have a lot of sideboard cards for the matchup. We got 3 Ashioks, we got 2 Torpor Orbs. I think I'm interested in potentially a Needle, potentially some Edicts. Potentially, I do want some Break the Ice. I think 3 is a goodish number. I want to cut all the copies of Fatal Push. I do think, Vestige is like kind of this bigger, grindier card. I think it's a card that can come out. I think I'm interested in cutting an Emperor of Bones. I do want to keep in the Nihil Spellbomb so we can stop their loops. The Vexing Bauble is okay. Trespasser can go. I think the Edicts could maybe come in too, just as a way to like snipe Resolve Titans, although it can be a bit awkward that this is just kind of a do-nothing card if they have a Grazer. The split second's kind of relevant too against the Mirror Pool, just to like a little bit. Turn one of these. All right, okay, do I want Needle? So this is for Aftermath Analyst, and this is for Besage You. I feel like typically the Nihil Spellbomb is better, although I guess I just don't want the Shadowspear, so let's do this. You could also name Besage You, or the Hasteland, or Teleria West. Erberg with the 35 months, thank you, welcome back. I feel like every format always wants to be on the play. I wonder what would change to make play draw decision more relevant than a die roll. I don't know. I think this is something that they have struggled with. I think like maybe giving the draw a scry could be just like totally fine. It doesn't seem like it's something that they are really invested in. I don't know if the play draw disparity in like standard or limited or command. I mean, actually, commander being on the play is the most broken because you just still get to draw a card. So to me, it doesn't seem like they're doing a lot to address it. But in modern at least, it feels like play draw just becomes more and more of an issue as we go. Okay, I think I'm gonna name Otawara since I've got the Ashiok here. The only Otawara, pretty sure that's the right one. How about the player on the draw starts with the treasure token battlefield? That's way too broken. That's so you get almost a Gemstone Caverns. The play draw is not that disparate that you just like let the another thing too is it's like, okay, so that also breaks deck building where like, can you just choose to be on the draw? Then you just build a deck that like just doesn't contain 1-drops, like deck building gets really weird when you decide that you can build your decks like that. I guess I take the Cecil so I can go like Saga token plus Cecil after I play the Ashiok. Anytime soon, we'll be testing Biotech Specialist in Asmodiria. I don't know. I have looked at Biotech Specialist a few times. Every time I build a deck around Biotech Specialist feels like easily the worst card of the deck. So it's not that I would just never, ever, ever want to play the card, but it hasn't been a very promising thing so far. Yeah, there's a handful of decent Spider-Man cards. I think there's like 6-ish that are going to make the PowerPoint at the time of making this comment. I guess we're not going to make a token. We're going to Hex Parasite the Overlord and then play a Goyf probably because we're going to be milling a lot of cards. Try to save the Fella Profane maybe for a Titan. Been doing decent and having more fun than ready. Yeah. I'm open to messing around with it. It's just one of those deck ideas that every time I've tried it, I've been just a little demoralized on it. Right, so Goyf is 6 power at the moment. I think I'll just take another land here. Next turn, we are attacking for 11 just with these two. I guess I could present lethal by removing all of the counters from Ashiok, or 3 of the counters from Ashiok. So let's let that trick be available for next turn. Okay. We could also grow the Goyf by 1 more if we milled over a K command, but that was good enough to win game 2. We're on the draw for game 3. I think I'm going to bring in the 4th Break the Ice over the 3rd Emperor. Like, a lot of times, like, the problem is when you're on the draw and you have your Ashiok, or even if you have your Ashiok, you're just very likely to die on turn 3. So a lot of times, turn 3 Ashiok isn't good enough, and you need, like, a Thoughtseize or Break the Ice or Orb into Ashiok. So I think that's my reasoning for bringing in the 4th Break the Ice. They also have, like, a lot of targets for it. Tried to do Yeagerless last night. I was kind of interested in trying Cosmogoyf as a sideboard pivot or main deck. I think that could be kind of interesting. I think someone else had talked about that too recently. A Florent Win, thank you for the 11 months. I hope that you're doing well today. Thank you for your continued support, my friend. Asmo has rotated out of Modern thanks to Wrath the Skies. I think that's mostly true, yeah. I think it's maybe less about Wrath the Skies, or like Wrath the Skies is a big part of it. But like, one thing is when you're playing Asmo decks, a lot of times you want Asmo to just be your main source of removal, and Asmo as a removal engine by itself is too slow against Boros usually. Maybe if you're on the play, maybe if you have Mox Opal, it can like contain the game. But I think for the most part, I haven't felt that Asmo and its activations can contain Boros starts by itself usually, especially with all their interaction for your staff. I think in some ways that feels like a bigger problem for it. It's like it kind of feels like how, you know, yes, humans and merfolk were really, really bad against Fury, but I think the bigger problem for those decks when Fury was legal was that they were worse creature decks than Scales and Yawgmoth. That they just, you know, and I think kind of in the same way there are better Mox Opal decks than there are Asmo decks. And I think that if like even if theoretically Wrath the Skies was banned, I don't know that would just make Asmo playable. Although I do love Asmo, so I'd probably try to play some. Okay, so we are at the draw with a Thoughtseize and a Pithing Needle. Not a super pretty hand, but I think I'm going to go ahead and keep it. Yogi with the 31 months, thank you, welcome back. I like that we have the mana to cast Break the Ice or Ashiok if we draw one. Nice. They probably bounce a Vestige here. Okay, so maybe we get to Break the Ice the Vestige next turn. Yogi, 31, thank you, welcome back. The hand is Growth Chamber, Gruul Turf, 2 mystery cards here. I'm gonna cast this first just to see if they have a Beseiju. Okay, they don't. I'm gonna name Aftermath Analyst. Although if they do, the thing is, if they naming Analyst maybe just isn't that good, because if they do get to do the big scape shift thing, a lot of the times they get to just bounce a Beseiju, then Beseiju the Needle. So maybe we should just name Oda War again. And then try to draw into Ashiok. So the Needle can protect the Ashiok. Stone Rain them again. So if you know, somehow if they don't have any other lands, then just having bounce lands can be a big problem here, of course. They do have a Vesuva, and they get to copy my Urza Saga, so that's a problem. Would have been kind of difficult to play around that, although thankfully we have indeed drawn the Ashiok, so about everything's gone right that can go right, especially, again, having the Needle. I think that it is going to be kind of important for me to be able to just like kill a Titan if they can just cast it. So I'm gonna try to not play the Fel the Profane. And then my Urza Saga token should be bigger than their Urza Saga tokens. Although I guess they're gonna have 2/2s. I'm gonna have 2/2s. I'm gonna have a 3/3 here. So make it 3/3. We do get to Surge. Probably getting Nihil Spellbomb. Maybe you could get Vexing Bauble. I think I'll get the Vexing Bauble. Doesn't matter a ton, honestly. Want to be mindful of Nethergoyf types when we cling to dust out of our own graveyard. All right, so that's a flippable Cecil. I do think I'm going to keep trying to like snipe cards from their deck. We have hit a Lotus Field and another Titan and Escape Shift and an Amulet. They still have a Growth Chamber and a Gruul Turf. They make a 2/2. Then they bounce land the cave. Might be cycling this kind of aggressively. Although this turn, let me just get in with the Cecil. I'm not going to minus the Ashiok so that if they have a single removal spell, they can't kill it. Maybe I should sack the Bauble. No, I'll sack it end of turn because of Force of Vigor. Like I don't think I want them to just immediately be able to Force of Vigor. Why didn't they get a search off the super? We have Ashiok. I don't know if you're just goofing. Okay, we win. We came prepared. You know, you can beat Titan. All it takes is interaction into Ashiok on the draw, and Ashiok game 2, and Pithing Needle on Odawara. Probably should have Ashioked before Cling to Dust. Well, you want to Ashiok ourselves there? Is that what you're saying? I'm going to keep this on the play. I'm going to play the Agadeem's Awakening first so that I don't get my second land Thoughtseized. How good does it feel to put Felder Profane into a deck? I'm a boomer player when I see that card. I'm like, Magicka, Garfield, and Tiddet. I do like playing it. It's weirdly like mostly in the deck, so you have ways to bolt yourself to flip Cecil turn 2. But it is like a nice utility land. The opponent's on the play. I'm going to lead on the Thoughtseize. Don't know why my brain... I said lead on Thoughtseize, my brain's like, okay, that means cast Goyf on it. Jerry with the 28 months, thank you, welcome back. They're thinking here. I wonder if this is going to be like a concede to Thoughtseize kind of situation. No, not quite that good. All right, maybe the most clear take Fable ever. I don't know what they're doing over here. If this is going to be Reanimator or some kind of just mid-range. I think Molten Collapse usually means Reanimator instead of just like any old thing. Because this is something that could kill like artifact-based Graveyard Hate. But it could just be like black-red mid-range. Jerry with the 28. Can't be Creativity because they've got Cliffs and Polluted Delta. They take Emperor of Bones. Okay, well, we will definitely... Impending Overlord here. Oh, I clicked off Inquisition instead of Thoughtseize. I guess it's okay. We'll just know that this is a Thoughtseize. Zach with tier 2 for 3 months in advance. Let's go. Thank you so much, Zach. It is September. Get discount subs, everybody. If you want to enjoy your favorite or a Twitch stream that you tolerate, ad-free, you can do over 25% off all month. All right, so there's the Thoughtseize. So we'll click that off, and then they played Scalding Tarn instead of the Delta we knew about. So we'll just play our 1-drops this turn. You know, if they kill my Molten... Oh, I guess I'm just letting them kill the Shadowspear for no reason with the Molten Collapse. So that's maybe unwise. They do keep a card on top. They play the Delta. Although it is going to help me with the Goyf if I just draw a land to escape, if this is in the graveyard. So it's maybe not the worst, but probably still inadvisable here. They've got 2 cards left in their hand. Eldrazi Temple is our best draw. We know no cards in their hand anymore. Is Riddler a better card than Overlord? I think it is. I don't know. I think it's maybe not that important, but I think it is. Okay, so let's get rid of... Maybe I just get rid of Overlord K-Command? No. Definitely a Thoughtseize. So I think I should get rid of Overlord and Swamp, because when the Urza Saga comes down, then the Goyf is gonna get it's gonna go back to being 7 power. Sam with the 63 months, let's go. Sounds like an Amulet special. Hell yeah. You know, I used to say no card is better or worse than any other card. They're just different. Yeah, funny enough, playing the Shadowspear did. It's worth 1 more damage this turn. The Overlord goes down to 1. We could Hex Parasite them for lethal next turn. They're getting the Kroxa this turn, which means we're not going to have the opportunity to Nihil Spellbomb them. But my Goyf is going to become big enough to present lethal. Oh, sorry, not lethal. It'll be only 7/8. Is there any type in my deck I'm missing? I think my max is 7/8, right? Let me just double check. Yeah, we've got Kindred already in the yard. Instant, sorcery, land, enchantment, creature, artifact. Yeah, that's all of them. Yeah, my opponent thinks they have something better to do than escape Kroxa. Not a great review for Kroxa, I guess. Do they have 2 removal spells? There's our Eldrazi Temple. Maybe a little late to the party to do a lot. I'm grabbing Nihil Spellbomb instead of the Hex Parasite. Just while we have this floating mana. And then we can put the Cecil into play. We don't need to not get our Spellbomb off. I don't expect this Goyf to survive, but this is technically a lethal attack. Yeah, no Planeswalkers in the deck. I guess I have Ashiok on the board for theoretical 8-9. This is lethal without nothing. Well, they don't have nothing because they oh, Cecil off the Vestige. Okay. Interesting that they chose to not escape Kroxa. Maybe they're just kind of in bad shape either way. You can hardcast Vestige next turn if they just have like random main deck damnation. Why are we warping Vestige here? Well, it's a nice 2-for-1 where we can likely hardcast it next turn. And this is like a very slow, grindy deck. And like this is kind of like it's nice about Vestige. It's just like, oh, nice, play it, draw a card, put a thing into play. Then you get to cast this big 2-for-1 and then Emperor of Bones it back. It's just kind of like this bigger, slower value engine that hits pretty hard. Like, did you want to make a construct instead? I thought for sure casting Vestige was better. All right, let's bring in the Trespassers. I think it's into Trespasser -2 Thoughtseize. Hex Parasite, K Command, Saga, Thoughtseize, Agadeems. What is this in? Oh, that's just the 7/8. I see. Yeah, you could maybe play Lava Spur Boots. Yeah, Boots with Vestige is kind of a cool thought. Favorable with the 28. Thank you. Welcome back. You can think about it some more. I guess we'll keep this on the draw. They have a ley line, which means my Goyfs are going to be useless this game. Not seen a ley line in the void in a long time. I think that's all that means, right? I mean, like, I guess my Overlords, I can't get anything back either. Hello, Geological Appraiser. What the heck? They gotta have a lot of bad hits off that. I'm gonna take the Charmaw. Okay, so yeah, this is just gonna be a big 5/5, but I think we still grab it with the intention to Hex Parasite it. This player's my team endorses this deck. You know, I play this format every day. I've never seen, or I can't tell you that I knew that Rakdos Appraiser was something that was seeing play. Kind of cool. You know, I will say that Bloodbraid Elf is not a card that sees play in Modern at the moment, and I think that Bloodbraid Elf is better than Geological Appraiser. They hit a Fable of the Mirror Breaker, so I don't know what the heck I'm talking. And it has haste anyways because of Arena of Glory, and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I mean, it is going to be good in these kind of matchups for whatever that's worth. Wait. Oh, no, I didn't mill my Hex Parasite. Oh, my gosh. I think we're just leaving our gang back here. Oh, that's right. You could put the removal spell into your hand. That's actually a pretty big deal, that if you draw a removal spell off the Appraiser that's dead, it goes to your hand. Yeah, so I was just checking that you can't Fable of the Mirror Breaker to get the cast trigger. Got 3 cards in their hand. We don't know any of them. This Leyline is, I think, pretty good. Okay, Molten Collapse the Shadowspear. I think that's okay. Alright, let me just cycle the Cling. Goodbye, Cling to Dust forever. Ooh, Deadlands is kind of cool. I might just Deadlands the Bauble next turn. Pretty scrappy. Yeah, it's not a cast trigger, but it says if you cast it. So you don't get to copy and still get the effect. So maybe I want to kill the Dothy Voidwalker instead. Kind of interested in hard casting this turn. I think that's gonna be okay with me. Just hard cast the Vestige, have 2 big blockers. Take a little hit from the Dothy Voidwalker and clean it up next turn. Although, I guess it's not gonna be a little hit. Because they're gonna copy it. I'm gonna go to 3, okay. I guess that was worse. I haven't played against a lot of these cards in a long time. Pretty cool. So they drew a Scalding Tarn for turn. Are they also reading Geological Appraiser to see if okay, and then they make no attacks. Well, that's great. I don't believe I'm pretty sure there's I don't see anything in void counters at the moment. Oh, there will never be anything in void counters because I get to pick which thing it's exiled to. So I do think so they're gonna copy an Appraiser end of turn and they can copy another one and send in. So I think we don't want to be just dead to a single removal spell here. Yeah, I think that they messed up a little bit there. Oh, my Spellbomb also doesn't get to draw a card. I think I made more than a fair share of mistakes myself this game. Crazy Dothy is only somewhat playable now when it was an auto-clone before. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just the dynamic of, like, is your card awful against Boros, like Dothy Voidwalker is? It's just so hard. It's just so hard to main deck it, you know? Okay, let's see if they have, like, I guess we can beat random and dying spell. But let me just hit this. So they copy, so I guess not a lot of point in attacking with one creature because they can block or double block. And they have the Arena of Glory, so we need to be kind of mindful of getting like smacked on the crackback here. I guess Goyf being just an 0-1 chump blocker might actually, funny enough, despite, you know, it would have been so big. But yeah, I think I can now actually kind of comfortably just attack with both things here and just play two dopey blockers, and then they're in bad shape next turn. Like, this is an attack for 12, so either creature is going to be lethal next turn. We'll see if they have like a random K command or something. We're at 9 life also. Okay, they didn't do anything that turn. 3 cards now in their hand. Voidwalker plus Thoughtseize, I imagine, is still very sweet. It's a big dumbbell draws. Yeah, Voidwalker's still definitely good in some matchups. Could be a good sideboard card. And this, you know, the cost of boarding in Leyline in a fair matchup. GG. 2-0. I'm keeping. I know we have no black mana. We can turn 2 Vestige and then like turn 3 Vestige if we just hit lands. So here's how you might see me. I sleep about 2 hours less than Esther per night on average. So if I just wake up and I have nothing to do because I need to wait for her to wake up to do anything, then I might pop up for like a very, very short, just hi, how you doing stream. I'm not planning on doing it, but if I'm very, very bored, you might see me. Okay, on the draw against an Ugin's Lab. I'm glad we got the quad break the ice of the sideboard. They've got a Emrakul into blue-red tiles. Oh, so this is the Through the Breach deck that's been popping back up. We played a green-red version that was playing Terminal Velocity as a little card I felt like I had kind of like discovered. Not a card that was on my radar. And now this blue-red version seems to be doing kind of well. Maybe that's the better build overall. All right, let me go ahead and Thoughtseize this turn. Then I can go like Vestige, put Trespasser into play next turn, and play a Cecil. Gained 3 months. We'll be here. Watch back. Thank you. I know you'll all be here. It'll be good to get a good vacation. This year's been such a grind for me, and I've been enjoying it, but I'm also just so excited for the trip. So middle of the night for North America Spike Trip. Yeah, maybe. It'd be fun. Play some Balacha or something. They bounce my Thoughtseize. Okay. Does that mean I'm going to get through the breach? They would need to have land through the breach big card as exactly their 3 cards here. There's a land. Okay. And then they pass. I'm going to cast Thoughtseize again. 1 with the multiverse! Holy guacamole. Alright, so draw a card. Probably putting this into play. Seems like it. I didn't see that call, but I also don't know what that means. Okay, the main phase of Braden Surge. I'm sure you've seen Peter Parker's camera. I think that card's gonna be interesting to brew around. I haven't started to think about brewing around it yet, but it's a Saga target. I'm gonna see if there's like any infinite combos with it and then try to go a bit smaller. Okay, so then they played Ugin's Lab. Then they imprint an Emrakul. Then they pass. Okay, well, let's play Cecil, then hold up K command. The K command's a little bit cute. That, like, I can tank some Annihilator, but I am just at 15, so not going to do all that much. Do you think Assault is a better option than Brain Surge? So it's a little bit weird, because this is not a deck that gets a lot of lands into play. But you also don't have a lot of shufflers, so your brains. I don't really think either are very good in the Breach deck. I think Stock Up is the best. And then again, you're just not like you're a deck that's playing Talismans and Ugin's Lab, so you're not like a great Consult deck either. I don't know. Like maybe Jace the Mind Sculptor is better than Brain Surge. Maybe not. Maybe Brain Surge is the best. Maybe Memory Deluge is better than Consult in specifically this deck because they're playing Talismans and Labs. Okay. I don't think I need another Vestige. This is a 3/4. It seems like I think it's okay to top both of these. If I play another big K command, what am I looking for? Overlord would be kind of nice. Right now I'm hitting for 6. I think I'm just going to go ahead and just play another big K command. See what we see. I think Thoughtseize is probably the best card to see, though. Them playing one with the multiverse is interesting. They're probably not playing bottom all these. Maybe keep the Cling. They're probably not playing the new card, Terminal Velocity, if they have that one, right? Alright, I think. Well, I tapped the Deadlands for a damage. I mean, I guess I always have to tap it for damage, sorry. Okay, so we have lethal next turn. They don't seem like they have a lot going on. Could they hard cast 1 with the multiverse? So this would be they put this into the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they would have to have a land if they were going to put Emrakul into their hand and then hard cast 1 with the multiverse. And then these are going to be 5, 6s next turn. Portent seems way better than multiverse. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's like I'm not the biggest Portent fan, but I think it's better than multiverse. I agree. Okay, they have a K command, so we're gonna lose. Maybe. All right, so this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's gonna be 8 tokens plus 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 14. So if they find land Emrakul, they can hardcast Emrakul, and that kills me. If they just find it through the breach, that kills me. Seems tough. The Sudden Edict should be great against them. Just randomly insane. 4 on top, 3 on bottom. Temples. I think any land, or just Temple. That's true. Because then, yeah. So they put the Emrakul into their hand. Then they play Temple. Then they hardcast. It's turn 6. Let's ban Kolaghan's command. No, Kozilek's command. Not Kolaghan. Sorry, Kolaghan. No, I think any land was one short. I guess we'll see if all the spawns are gone. Okay, I miscounted. Any land was indeed lethal there. Okay, I'm gonna bring in these cards. They cut the fatal pushes. The Shadowspear is kind of nice. Just being able to get to a high enough life total sometimes is like the difference maker. Not that we have much else to even really play. Got two tough matchups, League Titan Eldrazi. I think normal Eldrazi is... I think of all the Eldrazi builds, Through the Breach is maybe the worst one for me. Although the edicts are like randomly insane against them, so maybe that's not true. Is something actually good when they have K command? Well, it's really good if they don't K command, I guess, and it's really bad if they do. So, I think just like an uncounterable way to counter a Through the Breach, if that's all, you know, that to me that seems really, really good. I'm definitely bringing them in over freaking Fatal Push or Trespasser. Plays K command, deck bans K command. I mean, we do try to play the good cards on this stream. You know, you know, if I never played a card I felt like was ban worthy, I would not be giving y'all good decks. I do think the format would be a lot better without it. It's just so like clearly, egregiously broken. It's so broken. You splash it in Thoughtseize decks, and I think it's like clearly the best way to build like Thoughtseizes decks in Modern too. That's how busted it is. Needle over Bauble. Well, I think they have like no needle targets besides Labyrinth, right? Like this at least cycles. Can you summarize the thinking behind Anticasual this deck just joined? Yeah, it does a few things. It's like really good with Emperor Bones. It helps you outgrind Blink. It's just kind of like being a good value card for us in general. One issue with this archetype was that you didn't make good use of the spawn tokens, but now you have like something big to ramp into off the spawn tokens. I think those are the main points. And I just think the card is good and underplayed. Is it Johnny or K command more of an egregious design mistake? I think they're about at the same range. You know, a little bit underneath. It's like Nadu, then Amped Raptor, and then there's like 6 cards grouped together from Image 3. Why no Seer? I haven't like loved Seer. So like in the Simic deck, Seer is really cool because you can like Birthing Ritual into it to get that like critical disruption on like the turns where you really need it. And it's like 4 power for Fanatic of Ronas, and it's like pretty good to play off Fanatic of Ronas. Not sure if I want to lead on the Thoughtseize or the TBHK command isn't the issue. It's Eldrazi Temple. Maybe. K command was certainly designed when Temple was legal, so I think you could put some blame on it. You know. I agree. If Temple wasn't legal, it would not be as much of an issue. Okay, so they have 2 K commands. They also have a talisman with nothing to imprint here. Bit awkward that they have snare for the Break the Ice, but I also don't have a land for the Break the Ice. I think I should just take both K. So. The next turn we can flip the Cecil if we cast the Thoughtseize. Interesting that they choose the Island Cycle. Maybe they want to play the Talisman and then try to find an imprintable. I guess that makes some sense. Let's go and take the K command. They drew a 3rd one. Okay. We do get to flip Cecil, though it's probably just going to be dying here, right? We're just going to be cycling this. We need black mana, right? Okay, so we can go make a Saga token. Sell the Profane, Break the Ice. I think Break the Icing is nice to do this turn. I think with all these sagas, I think I want to get the Hex Parasite also. Although I am getting this online kind of slow. Oh, sorry, I don't know why I forgot about the stupid Spell Snare. Although I think if I attack here, there's a good chance they're going to K command. Wow, they left up the snare. I guess if I draw Emperor of Bones or another Break the Ice, I'll have been happy I cast this here. Okay, so the hand is Otawara, 3 mystery cards. Not doing so bad now that all the dust is settled. I am at 5 life. Yeah, I definitely said the signal. I don't think it's a bad play on their part. Play another Talisman. They play an Ugin's Labyrinth. They made Otawara my construct here. Yeah, I think that was on me for shocking in there. Let's get in for 3, see if they go ahead and use the Otawara. Boros is the most played deck for Monster Month, but K-Command is a problem. Well, there are a lot of problems with Modern. If I was going to, I would ban Ajani, I would, or Guide, I think one. I would ban K-Command, I would ban Wrath the Skies, I would ban Amulet. Those are the cards I would ban from Modern right now. But it is possible for 2 things to be problematic at the same time. But I'm also having a pretty good time, and I don't want to dwell too much on the negatives. Just a little. Okay, so I think we go top, but then we just leave ourselves the ability to mill over the Vestige here. But Modern's great. Yeah, Modern can also be good and have problems. It's Modern actually has always had a lot of problems. I don't think that there's really ever been a Modern format that's been perfect. I think there's been better, there's been worse. I'd say at the moment we're in a format that's pretty good. Okay, I could take the Emperor so we can Emperor the Vestige here. Yeah, but I think Modern is pretty good. Modern has always been a format that has had a lot of problems and has always been a format that has room to improve. And now is no different. Wouldn't it make it free reign for those Tamiya Mox decks as well as Affinity? I think the answer to that would be of course not. Affinity decks are like so clearly contained, not just by Wrath the Skies. There are a ton of very effective anti-affinity cards that you can choose to play to wreck them. It's not just Wrath the Skies. I think Affinity would still be well contained and I love when Affinity is a top deck because you just get to totally stomp it into dust if you want to, you know. Yeah, I like, yeah, Modern might be the most healthy format at the moment, but like I think just a lot of the formats have big problems. But that doesn't mean that you can't try to think about how to actively improve stuff. They don't use the Otawara end of turn. They have to through the breach. Your hand is Otawara 2 mystery cards, so it'd be a little unlucky to get through the breach here. Alright, so if I throw the Vestige at them, this is 7 plus 3 right now. I'm gonna have 2 more mana, so I think I could get them down to 1 because I could pump this by 2. I guess if there are 4 cards after this resolves, I can't because they have Otawara, but if it was Lab and Printable, through the breach and Printable, they could get me. Seems kind of tough. Okay, so they play an island. They also have the Otawara up, so I guess we were never really just gonna get them here. Removing 4 counters, it costs me 2 life also. I don't think I should worry too much about getting like lightning bolted. I don't like that I can't attack with this Overlord. It costs me and I can't do that and make a Saga token. I guess I could do that and just like play an Emperor of Bones though. And then I think the goal here is for to kind of make them maybe they don't Otawara the Overlord, but the goal is to kind of make them Otawara the Overlord. Then I get to hit them for 5 plus 2, 7, and then I have lethal next turn. Oh, I guess they Otawara in response, so it's not 7. Okay, so they still have the Otawara. It's interesting. I kind of like that if I exile this now, then if my opponent wants to stop me from putting this into play, they have to bounce at main phase. Otherwise, like, they could respond to the exile trigger next turn. They play the Otawara. I guess you're getting Behold the Multiverse versed. Hopefully not Emrakul as the last card. Seems likely. Maybe they're just fishing from the top of their library, though. Null Drifter. Okay, fun. Fun, very fun. So, what do we draw? We draw a Cave of Koilos. So I'm going to be throwing the Vestige at them almost every single time. That costs 2 mana. Then I can put Shadowspear on the Vestige to give it trample. Which is going to be 4 damage coming in from it after they block there. I guess they could block Emperor, which soaks up 4, or they could block Vestige, which soaks up 4. Either way, they're taking 4. And then they're going to take another 4, and then they're going to take 2. So I think just that is lethal. I can also remove counters from Urza Saga. I don't need to do that right now. I've been brewing something similar to this, except it goes for Sword and Vein Ripper as top end. How have you found Sword and Vein Ripper to be against Boros? I'm a bit worried that it's like embarrassing against Boros. Yeah, you can remove the finality counter too, which is fun. Or the counters from the Emperor to keep going. All right, so this right now is 7 or 8 plus 3 plus 1. That seems to be 10. Let's just, you don't need to click any buttons. They're dead. Only game 3. Game 3 on the draw. It's probably insane against Boros. So my thinking is that it's embarrassing because like they have lots of really good things to sacrifice. So like they have the Pride tokens. It helps you flip a Johnny. They have Seasoned Pyromancer. And Galvanic Discharge kills it pretty easily, and so like I would think that Vein Ripper might just be like a little bit of a speed bump against Boros. And this thinking has caused me to not play Sorin Vein Ripper, despite me kind of liking it when the Ring was legal. Ring not being legal, I think, also is a big problem, because a big part of like me ever thinking that combo was playable was because you wanted to be able to like do something really fast and efficient with all the cards you were drawing, and you also got to play Profane Tutor, but you were just drawing so many cards, you just wanted to shit those cards into something really high board presence, And now the Ring is banned. So maybe you could do it with Necro still, but then your own graveyard being exiled with Vein Ripper is awkward. So again, that's been my dialogue tree, and that's all I have to say about that. By the time I stick Ripper, I've mostly controlled the board. That is not a good argument. If you've mostly controlled the board, it doesn't. If the game is locked up, that's what you're saying. You've mostly controlled the board. Sword Vein Ripper being good on a mostly controlled board is not a good argument to play it. This is like, these are 2 cards that individually are very weak, can be kind of strong together. You need if you want to play Sword and Vein Ripper, it needs to stabilize the board by themselves. Otherwise, you just play freaking Overlord or Vestige, Okay, let's see if their hand is 4 lands here. I guess I'll take the Snare. And if they want to give me a bird for the Break the Ice, that's okay. Controlling the board is not winning the game in the combo format of Modern, bro. These debate lords are so funny. Do you disagree with my argument that that saying that Sword Vein Ripper is good when I've controlled the board is a bad argument for including it? That's what I was saying. And you could replace Sword Vein Ripper with any pressure, and you would still find this card effective. Bro, so annoying. It's just, it feels like sometimes some of you do anything you can to misrepresent or misinterpret what I'm saying. Let me take the dress down. No, I'm rage baiting. Okay. Also, when did trolling become rage baiting? when did maybe I'm the boomer here. I guess I totally am, but it doesn't seem to be any different from trolling. You can, if the gemstone counter has a luck counter, you can't break the ice it. Don't need to hold up the edict here. I think I'm just gonna make a token and equip a Shadowspear. All right, so their hand is Null Drifter and then mystery card, and then they don't play the Null Drifter, so their mystery card is K command. Well, I was feeling really good. Is there any red deck we can haste Vestiges? Maybe Obosh. Well, this is an even color card, so probably not. I do think hasting it's kind of interesting. I'm open to it. Went for a big Eldrazi build, and my experience is limited to a couple FNMs, but it provided for hard for mid-range decks to keep enough removal, not make Ripper gaming. Okay, that's good feedback. Thank you. So I think we got to play the Cecil. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It seems like my Edict is not going to be very effective against the Null Drifter here. That is their last card. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess I don't want to equip the Shadowspear because then I can't flip the Cecil. Can you play Sword and Vein Ripper to see how it plays in practice, not theory? Yeah, I mean, that would be like an off-stream testing kind of thing, right? I mean, I'm open to it. Could be interesting in a Karuga deck. Maybe. Like, I'm open to like not just kind of just being wrong about Sword Vein Ripper not being well positioned, but my thinking was that Onslaught Pride and Johnny and Galvanic Discharge were all cards that really turned me off from the idea of playing it. I really hope they drew Talisman, so they go Talisman into Null Drifter and I can Edict them. How do you feel about the removal of Traditional Storm in Vintage Cube? I think it's fine. A lot of people complained about it. I would want to see it come back at some point. As someone who really enjoyed drafting it, I did find myself kind of finally after like a decade getting tired of it. I don't know. What do you do when you off-stream test, Goldfish play leagues, play the deck versus meta decks yourself? I very rarely like Goldfish against myself, but or like play against myself. But I'll usually Goldfish for a bit and then play leagues. I have done the play against yourself thing, and I'm not a fan. Okay, Portent. Okay, so bad news they hit Emrakul. Good news we have the Sudden Edict for it. This is gonna be a very funny blowout, but I don't know. Okay, I don't. They also put another Portent into their hand, a Brain Surge, an Island, and a Talisman. So now they don't have the mana because they don't have the K command mana. So like they're not going to just be able to Portent again. We only have 7 damage next turn, and they're at 8. If I draw a cheap artifact, we could maybe present lethal. I haven't tested the Covenant Impulses, no. That was kind of on my list of stuff to try. There's a couple cards from Edge that were in the PowerPoint that I still haven't cast. Speaking about edicts, how about you eat this dick? Boss should roll versus Spike. What the fuck? Seem to have missed that. Well, I'm definitely glad we kept up the Sudden Edict. They play a Talisman. They're probably just going to be Brain Surging this turn and then setting up for a big Portent next turn, because their hand right now is... Okay, they played the Island, so their hand is Brain Surge, Null Drifter, 2 mystery cards. Okay, and we have not drawn cheap artifact to present lethal. Seems like maybe they have something like an Odawara. Just gonna warp the Vestige, see if we find something better than a Cecil to put into play. But I think we're mostly gonna be at the mercy of an opponent's Portent. Unless we got unlucky and one of the 2 mystery cards is another K command. Okay, it is a Brain Surge. Could have maybe left the bird token back because of Emrakul. They'd be at 4, and then we'd go with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we would have lethal in the backswing against it through the breach. Whoa! Dude, their deck is sick. Interesting. I don't think they have Through the Breach in their deck. I say 30 minutes into the match. Wait, did they cast it Through the Breach this match? I don't think they did. They've just cast Emrakul's. And like Yeah, they just hardcast Emrakul's. Yeah, fun match for sure, even though we're not too likely to be able to get these last 2 points in. That's at least how I'm feeling. We don't know any card in their hand at the moment. They've got 7 of them. What's the red for then? I don't know. It could be sideboard cards. This could literally just be like a surveil land that you get off lore and revealed. It could be like for like fire magic or like meltdown. Yeah, but I think we've straight up not seen a red card. No, we're just saying we don't think it's through the breach, even though we were thinking that the whole match. The way this game is played, I think they're just on like Portent and then the 8 mana like Omniscience to hardcast their and K command to hardcast their Emrakul's. Okay, so found a red card. Do they have another Null Drifter to flashback the K return? Seems like I got something. Let's find out what that something is. My hand's about as bad as it could possibly be. I think it's going to be a bounce spell, which is sad. I guess I could have played around this by not having put the Emperor of Bones in play. Like we would have been presenting lethal this turn if they didn't have snare, so maybe no one but to blame but ourselves. So here comes the big portent. No, one with the multiverse plus. Okay. Well, fun match. Could have played better for sure. Keeping our 7 here. Gonna mold the 6. 5. Mold to 4. Well, let's see if they have a spell in their hand. This they might concede in response to Thoughtseize. I think a lot of times mold to 4 get Thoughtseize turn 1. They just concede to hide the info. Let's see. Thoughtseize really fast. Well, we got a board Boros player. Cast 5 creature spells. You get 5 counters on Quest for Holy Relic. Then you sack it and you put an equipment card from your deck onto the battlefield. I remember watching Jim play the card a long time ago. And yeah, this kind of show. Did not look very good, honestly, even back then. I think we're going to not want to play the Saga yet, so we can Vestige next turn. Built free. Yeah, crazy league. I feel like people, the builds in general have been really weird this week. Boros Hammer. I don't think that. I mean, they might have Hammer stuff in the deck, but I think that the big payoff to this is you get Argentum Armor, and then you just start vindicating on attacks. Argentum. Okay, so we could play Ashiok to counter the quest. You could also just hold up a removal spell for whatever they put the thing onto. Might want to do that. I don't know how to sideboard against this deck. I'm a little confused. I think I might just run it back. World Slayer. Whenever equipped creature deals combat to player, destroy all other permanents than this equipment. I feel like World Slayer should have also let you keep the creature you equip to it. Although maybe that would just be 2 game. Main deck hate with Parasite. Oh yeah, the Parasite against the quest. Oh, Modern is fun sometimes. It's a flawed format for sure. But boy, do I love it. Boy, do I love it, Sure, we need Needle. Oh, yes, you could Needle Quest. Let's give him a chance, Let's give him a chance. I'm actually going to play the Cecil here. I think their deck is very likely to not be playing a lot of removal. With Cage up. So Cage doesn't stop artifacts from entering play. As the great disgruntled elk said, Cage does so much and so little. Right, number 2. 5 cards in their hand still. Solitude, the Cecil. Pitching Solitude. Would not have expected them to be playing Solitude. So I guess we're hoping to draw a Black Source. Don't draw the Black Source. My 2/2 maybe is going to be standing strong against your army of 1/1s. Okay, well, bad news is we have to play against Sanctifier today. good news is I just actually have the answer for it. Emperor for Solitude. I think I'm gonna be a little greedy and go for it on their instep. I guess there's actually not really much reason to because they have the first strike blocker, so I'm not gonna be able to attack with it. So yeah, we'll just do it in main phase. Just gotta get that thing out of here. And not gonna attack is just a free 2 life for them. Put it in on my instep. I guess that's a little bit better, yeah. Shell with the 14 months. Thank you. Welcome back. What do you think is the best deck versus Black, White, and Esper Blink? Titan. Unfortunately. Okay, so we're definitely gonna need a Shadowspear to keep up with this board. We're gonna need to Fatal Push too. Weird game. They are top decking. So we're 1 mana short of putting an Overlord into play off this, so I think we'll try to save. Save for that. Although, yeah, I guess we need to go away and make a token. Can I attack? Yeah, I think attacking is good here because we don't really we're okay trading this for 5 creatures, and if we kill 5 creatures, then we just still have 2 good blocks in the back end, and they're not going to be sending in with everything. Is it every time I play versus Titan, they just Solitude my Titan when I go to copy? There's not much I can do. Well, can't you just Aftermath Analyst instead? Like you should be able to play around Solitude if you have access to Analyst. I think it's pretty dependent, I suppose, on like what your draw is as the Titan player, but it's like I think it's more dependent on what you draw than what they do. I guess we'll go and throw a Thoughtseize at them. Thing. Chip it away. I'm at 30. They're at 23. I'm gonna Hex Parasite my Saga into turn. I think. I don't think I want to get my cycle artifact. Although now it's gonna have the ability to make sagas, or it's gonna have the Saga making ability twice. Okay, I do fight a Trawler, which is ideal. Probably just impending the other Overlord here, right? 31 life. Another gigantic Goyf. I guess I should have played this pre-combat in case I milled a K command. Okay, so they're going to be able to get a Guide of Souls off this. Fly the Pride. Kitty's Blessing still online. Not ideal. That's true, we could remove the flying counters. Although I'm not super sure exactly how this interface is going to work. We need to surprise them with it. Yeah, I need to keep this 2 mana up. Get one of these off with the extra mana. Yeah, seems like I still have an attack here. I'm okay if they block with 7. How good would Burrowgoyf be in Modern? I think not very good. Don't think it'd be very bad either. Did you decide to throw all the cats in front of the Goyf? A horrifying image here. If they only put 7 in front, I could sack the Vexing Bauble. Okay, they do go to put 8, which yeah, we should expect them to. That's what they did last time. I think Pyrogoyf would be really good, especially with Arena of Glory. I don't think it'd be broken, but it would be good. It would be good. It would be. I think with like Rumble into like turn 3 Arena, it'd probably be a bit too good. Yeah, I think Barragoyf would be fine though. New card, Spider-Verse. The legend rule doesn't apply to spiders you control. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you can copy it. If you do, you may choose new targets for the copy. If the copy is a permanent spell, gains haste. Do this once each turn. Fun. Not fun we're gonna have. Okay, I don't usually look at leaks, but like look at this. It's just a screenshot of a TikTok. Made it to the magic spell. Is this what y'all live like? Creature control, mana value 5 or greater enters attachments equipment to it. That's actually kind of interesting with the warp cards and Overlord and Solitudes. A screenshot of a TikTok though is just so funny. Dang, they see the line. How do I know it's a TikTok? Doesn't it look like a TikTok? Maybe it's YouTube shorts. It's not a leak. Well, it's just funny either way. Oh, that's sorry. This is probably just their official preview, right? This is a MTG creator. Okay, so pay for Hex Parasite. Oh. Remove flying counter. I was not sure how this interface would look. Hex Parasite undefeated. Such a weird game. Ugh, this makes me sick though. The fact that they have 2 guides now is so gross. Didn't board any sweepers. We can fight through this. Do you consider Kaya's Ghost with warp cards? I haven't. No, it's kind of interesting. Maybe Swede just go next even is winnable. Do you want it to be? Maybe not until they play this 3rd Pride. I don't know. I'm here to game. Not so easily defeated. The 3rd Pride is. Maybe changing my attitude here. Oh, they're going to put a 2nd flying counter on the Pride. Dang, that's so big brain. Okay, maybe it's not winnable anymore. It's the 4th Pride that crashes Magic Online, right? Okay, fine. This is for you. This is for you. I concede. Let's go to game 3. Yeah, I don't think the problem with this matchup is their quest for the Holy Relics. I think it's the Sanctifiers and obviously the normal Guide Pride stuff. Oh, we just have K commands for Sanctifiers. Okay, that's not even that scary. I'm gonna not. I guess we could maybe bring in an orb or 2, but I think we'd be okay. 6 for the 4 years. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, Vein Ripper would have been good there. Although again, they're like they don't have discharges, it seems, and they don't have a Johnny's necessarily. They might have a Johnny's. Those are kind of the cards I'm scared of playing Vein Ripper. I'm down to playtest some Vein Ripper though. I think it could be okay. Yeah, Deadlands can kill Sanctifiers. I think we've had this dialogue tree before actually. Orb seems good without life gain. They don't have much going on. I mean, I've got fatal pushes. I've got K commands. I just have a lot of removal for the Guide Pride stuff. And if that's all we're scared of, I think we have enough removal to keep it under control without being like Torpor Orb to turn off the Guide of Souls. It's okay against the Warp card too. You know what? I guess it's just fine. I think it's okay. I'm gonna mulligan this. Keep this. A single Massacre Worm for Affinity and Boros would be sick as hell. It would be dope. Probably not very good. Okay, they mulled the 6. We did 2. Guide, Sanctifier, Starfield Shipper. They've kept a 1-lander here. Let me just go ahead and take the Sanctifier. Are they going to play this Quest for the Holy Relic first? Probably. I would love for it to do something. Did they draw a land? They spoiled Madam Web. She reaches spiders in the Amazon. Really? I heard that that's what she was doing in the movie. I heard that the movie was also really bad. They did draw a land. Dude, you took a long time to cast 2 Guide of Souls here. Well, I'm flooded out. I guess they're thinking about just Starfield. Nurturing Pixie. Oh, cool. Pixie bounce the Shepherd's fun. Okay, maybe I guess they're just gonna get to do the thing. And I just drew nothing this game. I guess there's something. No creatures to return though. All right, I guess we're about to get Argentum armored. Another quest for the Holy Relic. I've saved a push, maybe. To get another Plains here. Can this put the thing in from your hand? No. Okay, so it's not Argentum armor. That's what Jim was doing. It's... Let's go, dude! Equipped creature has base power toughness X, where X is your life total. Okay, Modern is the best format. Let's fucking go, dude. That's so sick. That's true. The combat trick part is pretty bad. I think we have 2 trawlers here. If we just had 1, we'd be in some trouble. I was mostly just thinking that the first part of it's kind of interesting. Take an Overlord. The draw against some kind of Golgari Rock deck. Gonna be another fun match probably. I remember seeing Hot Dog Cart. I don't remember seeing this was anything Modern related. Okay, so a little bit short of being able to flip the Cecil here. Yeah, it's not loading. Alright, so I got them down to 14. I think I'm just going to bolt myself, then play Emperor. I don't think we're going to need to play the K command next turn. Maybe I'll eat those words. Okay, Sheriff Shot. We're setting up for the Cecil flip here. Just Golgari Rock. It's so funny we played against Rakdos Rock and Golgari on the day we're playing Mono Black. We did beat Rakdos. So Cecil flipped. Play our own Saga. Mark my words, Cecil flipped and die. Maybe, I mean, if they have to minus the Grist and then we have Trespasser in play, that should be okay. Is Golgari Saga viable mono? I think it's much worse than mono black. That's been my experience. It's kind of like the Timmy way to build the deck. So deciding which of my two creatures to go after. If they go after the Trespasser, they either have to discard a card or they get to discard a card. Somehow they've got some good graveyard synergies. If they don't kill the Cecil, the Trespasser does flip also. I've had lots of success with Golgari Saga. How much mono black have you played though? Because I just think mono black is like kind of significantly better. You discard an Ooze. Oh yeah, again, not that you can't do well with it, but I just don't think it's the better of the two. Okay, going to the fourth turn. They have a Fatal Push? They have Bauble. They have Baubles in the deck, so I'll play my Vexing Bauble. Playing Screws over Emperor is interesting. That just means they have Green Sun Zenith in their deck. It's not really. I don't think you should read too much more into that. I played Selfie's Mono Black list. I think the difference maker is Grist is better in the mid-range matchups, while K Command is better versus the combo decks of the meta. So I very strongly disagree with you because the main mid-range deck in Modern is Boros. K Command is much better against Boros than Grist is. Grist is actively bad against Boros, I think. I also think K Command is probably better against Blink too. So I think I just disagree that K Command is that Grist is better in the mid range matchups. But I agree. I think if you're gonna play Golgari Saga, you have to have that opinion. So you know maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think you can land on I'm gonna play Golgari Saga without having the opinion that Grist is better than K Command, right? I do just think people just totally forget about Boros sometimes, and when they talk about mid range decks. Ooh, Diamond Weapon, cool. We played a little bit of Diamond Weapon, not a lot. Alright, so I think I just need to hardcast this Overlord if I'm gonna keep up with this Diamond Weapon. I don't think these constructs are doing enough. Oh. Well, maybe I'll just kill it then. See a good argument for any of these here. Let me go with the Spellbomb. I don't know if I want to play around second Diamond Weapon here by cracking it, but let me just see if I won't if they kill the Cecil, right? The difference is Grist is a lot easier to cast than K Command. I don't think that that's a very good argument. K Command is pretty easy to cast if you build your deck around it. I found with my mono black, my win-loss percentage entirely depended if I drew K Command. That's not a good argument for your previous comment saying that Grist is better at the mid-range matchups. That's not a good argument. Boros was the same with Bosos. That's fine. I think I disagree too with that, but that's okay. We can disagree. We have different experiences. All right, so we are up a game against Golgari. We're bringing the Trespassers. I think just +2, -2. Same thing against the Rakdos build. Yeah, I really liked yesterday's Birthing Ritual build. I thought it was great. Is Abrupt Decay great? Abrupt Decay was great before Edge of Eternities, I think. Back when like the metagame was really revolving around Steel Cutter. But Edge, there's just a lot of 5-drops that are being cheated into play that Decay is kind of embarrassing against. Not a great hand. I think I might keep it like in this specific matchup. Yeah, let's mulligan. I say mulligan, I meant keep. I guess you're going to 5 here. Not a good matchup to be going to 5 in. Maybe scoop to a Thoughtseize. No Thoughtseize. Would Anticasual be better for 7 mana instead of 6? I don't know. Like you can't play it in the as well in a lot of the ways we've been playing it. You can mess with it. Or like, you know, just being a labbable card is a pretty big deal. Harmagoyf. Do we think our opponent has Veil of Summer in their deck? Where did Steel Cutter go? I feel like it disappeared overnight. Probably still see some play. One thing is, I think that I would rather see Steel Cutter than Cranial Plating in the Affinity builds, but like a lot of the Affinity builds are playing Cranial Plating instead, which is something I just disagree with. But this is a weird attack. I think I do have to. No, I guess don't push it. Sorry, I shouldn't have taken the 2. Yeah, I did play against Steel Cutter yesterday. True. But it definitely kind of has moved from like the immediate modern staple. Like there was a time it felt like the modern format was like revolving around Steel Cutter and how viable it was. Like it did just seem like it was like that's how big it was, and it is not seeming like that at the moment. It's still a very good card, but it like the format just like Edge is just like I think has brought a lot of cards that are good against it. Make another token. Goyf's still 3/4, 2 mana left, 3 cards in hand. Vestral's Temple, obviously. They decay my Emperor, which grows this to 4/5, big enough to block my Cecil. Although I can Emperor my Emperor to shrink this to 3/4. Yeah, 3. And then they can double block my Cecil, which is not ideal. I think it's a trade we got to make here. Is black-white pushing those decks out? I don't know if it's black-white or what exactly. I mean, Prowess has been doing well lately, so I wouldn't even necessarily say that it is even being pushed out. I think that it's I think that Prowess is just a little bit underplayed for how viable it is. Yeah, I agree that Cutter is not going to be a card that disappears, but I do think it's a card that will wax and wane in popularity. And I don't know if it's just entirely like Quantum Riddlers or what. Some tension with Emissary wanting to dump your hand on turn 1, turn 2. I mean, I think if you just like have both of those in your opening hand, you can sequence in a way where you play the Steel Cutter and then you play a 0, then you play the Emissary. I don't think it's that big of a deal. You just have so many draw 2s also, it shouldn't be that big a deal. So you get a Nihil Spellbomb to help against my Goyf. They don't make a construct, so they got some spells in their hand. They minus the Grist to kill my Emperor. Grist kill count 2 here. 3 cards in their hand. And then they play an 8/8 diamond weapon. We top deck the K command or the Temple for K command, maybe a turn late here. I think we'll play the Graveyard Trespasser so that we can maybe like get rid of the Grist token and send in next turn. I tried playing Tron last week and got bodied by effect. I guess the more things change, the more they stay the same, huh? Did they cycle the Spellbomb end of turn? Don't. They mill a Goyf. That's pretty good. They play another. They have another Goyf. And they get in for 8. This is prevent all combat damage, so I can't death touch it. Alright, let's go to game 3. Tough mold to 5. I guess we should bring in the needle for the grist, huh? I'll respect you this time, grist. Mulling to 6. Again, not a good matchup to be mulliganing this much in. Keep our 5, or keep our 6 on the play. I have a hard time imagining you'd want to bring in Ashiok, but good. Knight with the 9 months. Thank you. Welcome back. We're hoping to get some of these in play. I think this card's great against them. We just haven't been able to cast one this match. Maybe getting Thoughtseize here. No, they're on Goyf. Get in for 1. Oh no, I should have saved it for the better Goyf. Oh. Yeah, I like Nethergoyf. I think it's a well-designed card. I usually like cards like this that are very powerful, but like get hated out by other like kind of generic sideboard cards like Graveyard Hate. I don't think we want to go for the double block. Yeah, it's tough to play fetch lands. You can. We're not playing them. We have Sagas and Overlords to buff the Goyf early, so it's not usually the biggest problem. They don't have another land. We might be putting this Trawler into play. Probably will. Hot Springs with the 3 years. Let's go. Welcome back. Draw card and put another Goyf into play instead. Yeah, let's do that. Because I think I want to be able to exile their Saga with the Trawler potentially, and I might also want to play a land so I can start hardcasting this. They're down to 1 mana. Baubles me. Hot Springs again. Thank you for the 3 years. Let's go. 5/6. But there's a good chance they're gonna have to pump the brakes since. Okay, they do have a land. I guess we'll see if they have their own Goyf. They're pretty locked in on Trawlering them, I guess. We might see a 5th I thought for sure we're about to see a 5th Goyf hit the battlefield. Okay, so another Sheriff shot. I'm down to 9 life points. Okay, got up to 4 cards in their hand. I think we just trawl here. Yeah, they're the ones missing land drops. I've got an Emperor, which can be some surprise damage. Anticausal seems like a nice card for the Helga deck. Maybe. Kind of hard to play Helga and Eldrazi Temple the same deck, so I'm not exactly sure. You have a lot of good permanents to put into play. So then Fulminating grows the Tarmogoyf at instant speed and cuts me off K command. Okay, although it also grows my Tarmogoyfs. Let's see if they fulminate in response to the trigger here. They don't. I'm gonna attack with my Trawler. I think that they're probably gonna block and sack, and I think that that's okay. Now they have a 4/5, I have a 4/5. Then maybe I'll be able to Emperor the Fulminator here. Is it ever odd to see a new modern deck pop up and something you didn't invent? No, that happens all the time. You know, there used to be a time where like there weren't a lot of other people working on modern brews, but that isn't the case anymore, thankfully. This is interesting. Probably right for them. Get to draw a 3rd card. Hopefully they don't have a push. I want to be able to just like get another Emperor so I can just attack with 1,000,000 4-power creatures next turn. And then also use the Emperors to shrink the Tarmogoyf by a lot. This is such a weird game. How often is Fable seen in Modern? Some decks still play it, but it's honestly pretty bad. I really don't recommend it. Okay, what happens if I sit with everything? So they can block here, and then they're gonna lose a Goyf, and then they're gonna take 3 down to 4. That seems kind of good. Yeah, okay. It's very bad if they have Fatal Push, which they might have because their hand is all spells. So let's not just lose to the Fatal Push. And then we can go like end of turn, make an Emperor, and then get in with a lot of 4-power creatures. How did Fabled no dies in quality so quickly? Well, it might seem like so quickly. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, I think got printed 4 years ago, like, and 4 years and a Modern Horizon set at least ago. Not 2, maybe 3 years. Like it's been a while. Okay, so to decay this, I can still throw 2 Emperors at them. I can only exile 1 thing from a yard. Draw a push. Yeah, Fable was like really strong in Standard and Pioneer, and it was like fine in Modern. Like it was mostly just a creativity card. Wait, what? They target my Goyf? So they're gonna kill one of my lands with the Fulminator ability, right? Guess that's why they're doing this. But then I get to Emperor the Goyf and throw it at them. Okay, yeah. And they realize that at the same time I say it out loud. Very weird league against a lot of Brews. I think we need to play another one since the league was just so weird.